Welcome and settle in. Take a moment before we begin to arrange yourself in whatever way feels most comfortable. A pillow softened just so beneath your head, the blanket drawn up to the place where it warms you best, your shoulders allowed to drop at last from wherever they have been holding the day. There is nothing you need to do now, nothing you need to remember, nothing you need to solve. The story ahead is a slow one, and it will hold itself together without any effort from you. You may follow it if you wish, or you may let it drift past like weather through a valley. Either is welcome, either is enough. Let your breath find its own quiet pace. In through the nose, unhurried. Out through the mouth, longer than it came in. Again and again. Feel the small weight of your hands where they rest. Feel the room around you soften at its edges. We are going to travel now, gently, to a place high above the clouds. A small monastery on a green shelf of mountain, where the air is cool and clean, and where a young novice named Wen is beginning her first solitary shift among the fermenting crocks. Nothing will hurry there. Nothing will require anything of you. You will only walk beside her, watching, listening, breathing, until sleep finds you the way mist finds the valley, quietly from below, filling in the low places first. Let the room you are in grow a little further away with each breath. Let the small sounds around you become part of the mountain now. A distant wind chime, a settling beam, the faint hush of cloud pressing against paper windows. You are already partway there. You are already softening. And now, when you are ready, when your breath has found its slow, patient rhythm, we begin. You step through a low wooden doorway, and the air changes. It is cooler here and cleaner, with a faint sweetness at the back of it. The sweetness of milk kept in cedar, of lemon rind laid out to dry, of moss that has been damp for 100 quiet years. Your shoes have been left at the threshold, and in their place, you wear soft felt slippers, heavier than you expected, warm around the arches of your feet. They make no sound on the stone. The corridor stretches ahead of you, long and low, lined on either side with moss that has grown in slow, patient patches between the flagstones. The moss is deep green, almost blue in the places where the light does not quite reach, where the sun does reach. Through small, round windows cut high in the wall, the moss glows faintly, like something remembered from a dream. You walk, slowly. The felt of your slippers presses into the moss, and the moss presses back, and you feel the weight of yourself carried gently from step to step, as though the floor itself were helping. Above you, cedar beams cross the ceiling in long, straight lines. The beams have been warmed all morning by a low sun, and they give off the faintest scent of resin, a scent like the inside of a wooden box that has held something precious for a long time. At the end of the corridor, there is another doorway, framed in unpainted wood, and beyond it, the light grows a little brighter. You step through. You are in the upper cloister of the Alto yogurt monastery. It is a long room, open along one side to a terrace, and along the terrace runs a low stone wall, and beyond the wall, nothing but sky, or rather, cloud. The clouds sit below you here, a soft white sea that stretches out to the horizon, gentle as breath, dense as sleep. Here and there, a peak lifts through the surface like an island. The nearest one is quite close enough to see the little pines that grow on its shoulder, and the light on those pines is the light of very early morning, though it is not early morning anymore. Time moves differently above the cloud layer. Time is patient here. You stand at the doorway for a long moment, letting your eyes take in the room. Along the inner wall, in a slow, curving line, are the crocks. Dozens of them. Ceramic, round, the color of river stones, pale gray, pale beige, one or two the soft green of a robin's egg. Each one has a wooden lid, and each wooden lid has a small brass ring set into the top for lifting. Each crock is nested in a bed of straw, and the straw is fresh, and its scent joins the cedar and the lemon and the moss in the calm, layered air. Beside each crock, on a low shelf, sits a small square of soft paper, a card, folded once, on which is written in careful ink the name of what sleeps inside. You cannot yet read the words from where you stand. You will read them soon. Wen is already in the room. She is small and quiet, and dressed in a pale gray robe that is a little too long for her, so that the hem gathers a little around her felt slippers as she walks. Her hair is tied back with a scrap of soft cloth. She has a paper ledger tucked under one arm and a wooden ladle in the other hand. And when she sees you, she smiles, a small, unhurried smile, and lifts the ladle in a gesture that is not quite a greeting and not quite an invitation, but somewhere warmly between the two. She does not speak. The monastery keeps its voices low and its footsteps low, and even its bells are never rung above a whisper. Somewhere, quite far off, you can just hear one now. A wooden wind chime, hollow and slow, muffled by the fog that presses always against the paper windows on the mountainside. The sound is less a sound than a suggestion of a sound. It is the kind of thing you might mistake later for the beginning of a dream. Wen turns and walks along the line of crocks, and you walk with her. The stone floor is warmer here than in the corridor. The sun has been lying on it since dawn. Through your felt slippers, you can feel the warmth rising in patches. Here warm, here cool, here warm again. And you follow those patches with your feet, the way one might follow stepping stones across a shallow stream. She stops at the first crock. She sets down her ladle on the shelf. She lifts the ledger and opens it, and turns the soft pages one at a time until she finds the entry she wants. The paper of the ledger is thick and a little rough, and the ink on it is the color of wet earth. The writing is small and careful, done with a fine brush, and each entry is only a few words long. The date, the name of the culture, a small mark for the weather of the morning, another for the temperature of the crock. That is all. She takes hold of the brass ring on the wooden lid, and she lifts it slowly so that no shock passes into the crock beneath. The lid comes free with a soft hush of released air. You lean forward and you look inside. The yogurt is pale, paler than milk, almost the color of the clouds beyond the terrace. It has settled into a smooth, flat surface, unbroken, with only the faintest shimmer where the light from the round window touches it. There is no smell of sourness, only a clean, cool sweetness, and beneath it, a whisper of something else. The powdery cool of cloud, the way cloud sits on the tongue when you walk through it. For that is what this yogurt is fermented with. Cloud, harvested at dawn from the valley below, in shallow copper basins, carried up the mountain path by monks in soft slippers. Wen watches the surface of the yogurt for a long moment. She does not touch it. She only watches, as one might watch a sleeping child, to be sure of its breathing, Then she nods, once to herself, and lowers the lid, and the lid settles back into place with a small, dry sound, like a leaf falling on a leaf. She takes her brush from the little pot at her waist, and she makes a mark in the ledger. A single mark. The culture is well. You move on. The next crock. The lifting of the lid. The pause. The small nod. The mark in the ledger. The lowering of the lid. Then the next. Then the next. There is a rhythm to it, patient and even, like the rocking of a small boat on a very still lake. You find, after a while, that your breath has fallen into step with it, in as the lid lifts, out as the lid settles. You did not decide to do this. Your body has simply decided. At the 7th crock, Wen pauses a little longer. The surface here is faintly domed, and there is a single bubble the size of a small pearl rising through the pale liquid. She smiles at it. It is a good sign. The culture is dreaming well today. She marks 2 small strokes in the ledger and closes the lid and moves on. You count the crocks as you pass them, though there is no reason to count. 8, 9, 10. The names on the little folded cards begin to catch your eye. Snow Milk 14, Valley Cloud of the 3rd morning, Cedar Sweet, Long Sleep, Slow River, Winter Pear. These are the names the monks have given over years to the cultures they tend. Each one is a little different. Each one takes a different amount of time to ripen. Some sleep for days. Some sleep for weeks. 1 or 2, Wen has been told, have been sleeping for longer than she has been alive. They are turned only once a season and tasted only once a year, and they hold a flavor that the older monks describe, when pressed, as the flavor of a very quiet morning. You reach the end of the line. Wen sets down the ledger on the low shelf, and she stretches gently, in the way one stretches after a long piece of careful work, not because the work has tired her, but because the body wishes to remember itself. Her shoulders lift and settle. Her fingers open and close. She smiles at you and lifts one hand toward the terrace, where the copper basins wait in the low sun. You follow. The terrace is broad and paved in the same warm stone as the cloister. Along its outer edge, the low wall runs, and along the wall, spaced evenly, catching the sun, sit the copper basins. They are shallow, wider than they are deep, hammered by hand until the metal shows 1,000 tiny facets. Where the sun strikes them, they glow, a slow red gold that seems almost to hum. Inside each basin sits a thin layer of something that could be milk, or could be cloud, or could be both. For that is the work of the copper. Overnight and into the early morning, the cloud rises up from the valley, and it settles into the basins, and it condenses there, slowly, gently, drop by patient drop, into what the monks call cloud cream. Wen takes up a long-handled skimmer from a hook on the wall. The skimmer is wooden, worn smooth by generations of hands, its edge slightly curved. She approaches the first basin. She kneels beside it, so that her face is close to the surface. She breathes out slowly, and the surface of the cloud cream ripples faintly and settles again. Then, with a movement so slow you can almost see each fraction of it, she draws the skimmer across the surface. A pale film gathers along its edge. The film is thicker than milk, thinner than cream, and it moves with the reluctance of something that would rather stay where it is. Wen lifts the skimmer, and the film comes with it, and she tips it delicately into a small ceramic jar that has been waiting on the wall beside her. There is a soft plip as the cream meets the bottom of the jar, a single note, round and low. You will hear that sound many times before your visit is over. It is one of the sounds of this place. She draws the skimmer across the basin again. Another plip. The sun shifts by a hand's breadth along the copper. Somewhere far below, in the sea of cloud that fills the valley, a slower breath begins. You can almost feel it. A great, slow inhale of the mountain, drawing the mist up along its flanks, thickening the white below. The clouds are not still. They breathe. They rise and fall with the day. Wen finishes the first basin and moves to the second. You sit on the low wall, careful not to lean too far, and you watch her work. The sun is warm on your back through the gray wool of the robe they have lent you. For yes, they have lent you a robe, though you did not notice this before. And now you feel its patient weight around your shoulders, and its long, soft hem against your slippers, and its faint smell of cedar and something like old paper. It is a good robe. It was made for someone who is not in a hurry. The second basin gives up its cream, plip by plip, into a second small jar. Then the third, then the fourth. The row of jars grows along the wall, each one no larger than the palm of your hand, each one holding a pale weight of something that was, only hours ago, mist over a valley. Something that you can almost taste already, the powdery cool of cloud on the tongue, faintly sweet, faintly cold, faintly like a memory of rain on stone. At the seventh basin, Wen pauses. She sets down the skimmer along the wall, and she takes up one of the small jars from earlier, and she offers it to you. Not to drink, only to hold, to feel the round, warm curve of it in your palms, to feel the very slight vibration of the cream inside as it settles, to feel the way the ceramic has taken on the warmth of the sun without ever growing hot. The jar is exactly the size of your two cupped hands. It fits perfectly. It was made for exactly this. You hold it for a long moment. Then Wen takes it back gently and returns it to its place on the wall and returns to her skimming. Plip, plip, plip. When she is finished, the sun has moved to a new place on the terrace. The basins are almost empty, showing the hammered gleam of their bottoms. Wen gathers the little jars onto a wooden tray, and she carries them carefully back through the low doorway into the cool of the cloister. You follow. The stone under your slippers is warm again. You step from patch to patch of sun. Inside, along the far wall, is a long, shallow cabinet, and inside the cabinet are small, round shelves, and onto the shelves, Wen places the jars, one by one, each in its assigned place. Some of the shelves hold jars from other mornings, jars that have been ripening for a day, for 3 days, for a week. The oldest of the cloud creams, Wen has been taught, will one day become the starter for a new crock. The cycle of the monastery turns slowly, and each morning's work is a small, quiet gift to a morning sometime in the future. Nothing here is only for today. When the cabinet is closed, Wen leads you further along the cloister, past the crocks, past a small alcove where a low table holds a shallow ceramic bowl and a folded cloth. The cloth is the pale gray of moth wings. The bowl is empty. Above the table, hung on the wall, is a single scroll, a painting done in ink and a faint wash of green of a valley filled with cloud. You stop and look at it. The valley in the painting looks exactly like the one below you now. The painting could have been done yesterday or 100 years ago. There's no way to tell. It doesn't matter. Beyond the alcove is another corridor, longer than the first, sloping very gently downward. The moss between its flagstones is deeper here and softer, and the walls are hung at intervals with small paper lanterns that are not lit, for the light through the high windows is enough. You walk. Wen walks a little ahead. Her felt slippers make no sound. Your felt slippers make no sound. The mountain makes no sound. Only the wooden wind chime, far off, offers its slow, hollow suggestion. At the end of this corridor, there's a room the monks call the settling room. It is a small, square room with a single round window, and along its walls are shelves, and on the shelves are rows of shallow ceramic pans, each no deeper than a finger's breadth, each holding a shallow layer of clear water. In the water, if you look closely, you can see the faintest cloudy swirl, like a single drop of milk stirred through a bowl. These are the settling pans. In each one, over the course of a day, the water clears, as whatever mist the monks have caught in it drifts slowly, patiently, to the bottom, leaving behind a translucent layer that will, in time, become the base for a new crock. Wen's task now is to refill the water, not all at once. That would disturb the settling, but a little at a time. From a small brass pitcher she takes down from a hook by the door. The pitcher's mouth is very narrow. The water it holds is very clear. She approaches the first pan, and she tips the pitcher, and the water enters the pan in the thinnest possible thread, silver and slow, and the level in the pan rises by only a hair. Then she moves to the next pan. The thread of water again. The rise again. Then the next. You stand by the doorway and watch her, and after a while, the watching begins to blur gently at its edges. Not because you are losing focus, but because the room itself has a softness that resists sharp attention. The light through the round window is pale gold. The water in the pans catches it faintly. The moss along the base of the walls holds a faint dampness. The air smells of clean water and of stone, and of the far-off tang of yogurt and lemon rind carried in from the cloister. Wen finishes the pans on the left wall and turns to the right wall. The thread of water. The rise. The pause. The next pan. The thread. The rise. The pause. Nothing hurries her. Nothing hurries the water. The water knows how to fall. The pan knows how to fill. Wen only has to hold the pitcher steady and breathe. When she is done, she hangs the pitcher back on its hook, and she turns to you, and she lifts her ledger, and she makes another small mark. The water has been given. The morning is proceeding well. The two of you leave the settling room, and Wen closes the door behind you, and the door closes with the same soft, dry sound of a leaf falling on a leaf. Now she leads you back along the corridor, and past the alcove with the painting, and past the crocks, and out onto the terrace again. The sun has climbed a little higher. The valley of cloud is a little brighter, a little denser. A faint breeze moves across the terrace, cool and clean, and lifts the loose ends of Wen's cloth-tied hair. She lifts her face to the breeze and closes her eyes and stands for a long moment, and you stand with her. When she opens her eyes, she turns not back toward the cloister, but along the terrace, toward its far end, where a small doorway opens into a room you have not yet seen. The doorway is curtained with a length of soft blue cloth, faded almost to gray by many suns. Wen lifts the cloth aside and gestures you through. This is the tasting alcove. It is a small room and low-ceilinged, with cedar beams close overhead and a floor of pale wood polished smooth by long use. Around 3 of its walls run low benches piled with cushions. Cushions in the color of tea, cushions in the color of moss, cushions in the color of the sky just before dawn. Along the 4th wall is a very low table, and on the table, arranged carefully, are a small iron pot, a ceramic tea bowl, a folded cloth, and a shallow dish holding a single sliver of dried lemon rind. The pot is steaming faintly. The steam is pale green. The smell in the room is the smell of green tea, soft, grassy, sweet, mingled with the faint tang of the lemon rind and the ever-present breath of cedar from the beams overhead. There is someone else here. On the far bench, curled in a nest of cushions, is a figure asleep, a visiting weather-scribe. Wen tells you without speaking. Her long gray robe is looser than the monk's robes, and her sleeves are stained faintly with ink at the cuffs, and her hair, coming loose from its pin, has fallen across her cheek. She is breathing very slowly. Her hands are folded, one over the other, on top of a small closed notebook. Beside her, on a low stool, sits a brush, a small stone inkwell, and a cup of tea that has gone almost cold. The weather scribe has come up the mountain to write down the movements of the cloud layer over 3 days. She has been awake since before dawn. Now she is resting. No one will wake her. No one has any reason to. The clouds will still be there when she opens her eyes. And there is one more inhabitant of the alcove. On the wide stone hearth beside the low table, a stone kept warm by the small iron pot, a cat is arranged, in that particular arrangement only cats know how to make. Her fur is the color of old cream and old smoke, mixed in slow patches. Her eyes are closed. Her tail is curled around her paws. Every so often she shifts, a small quarter turn, so that a different part of her can take up the warmth of the stone. She has been doing this for a very long time. She will do it for a long time more. Wen lowers herself onto the nearest bench and gestures you to sit as well. You sink into the cushions, and the cushions accept your weight the way water accepts a slowly settling leaf. The robe gathers softly around you. The felt of the slippers rests warm around your feet. You lean your back, at last, against the wall, and the wall is warm from the sun that has been on it. And you can feel that warmth spread slowly through the wool of the robe and into your shoulders and along your spine. Wen takes up the small iron pot with a folded cloth. She tips it slowly over the tea bowl. The tea flows out in a thin green stream and coils in the bottom of the bowl, and steam rises, pale and drifting, and finds its way toward the cedar beams. She sets the pot down. She takes the sliver of lemon rind from the shallow dish and lays it delicately on the surface of the tea. The rind floats. The tea holds it. She lifts the bowl in both hands and offers it to you. You take it. The bowl is warm. The bowl is round. The bowl fits your hands exactly, as if it had been waiting for them. You lift it toward your face, and a steam meets your cheeks, and a smell, green tea, lemon rind, cedar, cloud, enters you in one slow, gentle wave. You do not drink, not yet. You only hold and breathe, and let the warmth pass from the bowl into your hands and up your arms and into the very center of your chest. When at last you sip, the taste is soft. It is the taste of a hillside in early spring. It is the taste of the morning you cannot quite remember. The lemon rind touches your lower lip. The warm tea moves gently down your throat. You lower the bowl. You breathe. You sip again. Time behaves strangely in the tasting alcove. A minute can be as long as a season. A season can pass in a breath. The cat on the hearth shifts a quarter turn and settles again. The weather-scribe on the far bench breathes out once, very softly. Wen has folded her hands in her lap and closed her eyes, not to sleep, but simply to rest them. She is very good at resting things without stopping them. It is the first thing a novice ladler learns. It is, perhaps, the only thing. You finish your tea, slowly, over what feels like a long while, but might have been a very short one. When the bowl is empty, you set it down on the low table, and the small, dry sound it makes on the wood is another leaf falling on a leaf. Wen opens her eyes and smiles at you and rises. It is time, her gesture says, to continue. But gently, always gently, you rise too. The cushions release you. The robe settles around you. You look, one last time, at the weather-scribe curled among her cushions, and at the cat on her warm stone, and you feel a small kindness toward them both, the way one feels a small kindness toward a garden at dusk. Then you follow Wen back through the blue curtain, out into the cloister, into the light. The sun has moved again. It always has. But the movement is so slow, and the terrace is so patient, that it seems less like the sun changing places, and more like the mountain quietly turning to face it. Below, the sea of cloud has grown a little denser. The nearest island peak with its little pines is now half submerged, only its top branches lifting above the white. The valley breathes in. The valley breathes out. The mist rises with each breath. Soon, Wen tells you, without speaking, the cloud will rise as high as the terrace itself, and the monastery will be, for a while, an island of its own in a soft, white sea. This happens most afternoons. It is nothing to be concerned about. It is what the monastery is for. You walk together back along the line of crocks. Wen pauses at 3 of them at intervals and lifts the lids and looks and lowers them and marks the ledger. Once, at the 10th crock, she takes up her long wooden ladle and dips it, only for a moment, only a hair's breadth into the pale surface, and lifts a single small pearl of yogurt and tastes it with the tip of her tongue. She closes her eyes. She holds the taste. Then she nods and rinses the ladle in a small basin of clean water and dries it on a folded cloth and hangs it back on its hook. The taste, she tells you without speaking, was exactly what it should be. Slow River is dreaming well. You cross into another corridor. This one leads to the outer kitchen, a small stone room with a low hearth and a broad wooden table, scrubbed pale with long years of use. There is no fire in the hearth just now, only the memory of one, a warm patch of ash that a cat could sleep on quite happily, though no cat is here. This cat is in the tasting alcove, and above the table hang bundles of dried herbs and rings of dried lemon rind on lengths of clean twine, and a row of small copper measuring cups arranged from largest to smallest. Wen goes to the table and takes up a small ceramic bowl, and into the bowl she spoons, with a slow, deliberate hand, a small measure of yogurt from a jar that lives here for daily use. The yogurt is pale, thick, faintly sweet. To it, she adds a scrape of lemon rind and a single drop of honey from a stoppered clay pot, and and she stirs, slowly, 3 turns of the wooden spoon. She sets the bowl on the table and lifts it toward you. For you, her gesture says, a small taste of the morning's work. You take the spoon. You take a very small amount. You lift it to your mouth. It is cool. It is cool and clean and faintly sweet. And there is, unmistakably, at the very back of the taste, a lightness that is not quite of milk. It is the powdery cool of cloud. It is the sensation of walking into a bank of morning fog and feeling the fog rest against your cheeks. It is the taste of a place where the air itself is drinkable and where patience is not a virtue, but simply the medium of all things. You close your eyes. The yogurt settles on your tongue. The lemon rind and the honey and the cool of the cloud and the warmth of the kitchen stone under your slippers all arrange themselves inside you in a single soft chord. You open your eyes. Wen is watching you, quietly, with a small, pleased smile. Pleased not with herself, but with the culture, with morning, with the way the crocs are dreaming today. You return the spoon. You bow very slightly over the bowl. Wen returns the bow. The bowl is washed and dried and returned to its shelf. Nothing is left of the taste but the memory of it, and the memory will stay a long time. You leave the kitchen. You return to the cloister. The light on the moss between the flagstones has shifted, and the moss is now the deep green of late afternoon. And along the paper windows on the mountainside of the corridor, the first pale suggestion of mist has begun to press. The mist is not yet fog. It is only a softness at the edge of the world. But it is coming. The valley is breathing in. Wen leads you to a small side chamber where the ledgers are kept. It is a narrow room lined with shelves, and on the shelves are stacks and stacks of soft paper books, each one bound with a plain gray ribbon, each one filled with the same small, careful writing you have watched Wen make all morning. The ledgers go back and back and back. Some of them are so old that their ribbons have faded to almost white, and their covers have softened into something almost like cloth. Wen takes down one of the older ledgers, quite gently, and opens it. The paper is soft as a moth's wing. The writing is the same small marks for weather, the same small notes for temperature, the same patient record of pale sleeping cultures being watched over, morning by morning, by ladlers whose names are, most of them, no longer remembered. But their marks remain. Their care remains. The cultures they tended are still, some of them, sleeping in the crocks along the cloister wall. She closes the old ledger. She returns it to its shelf. She takes down her own ledger, the one she has been carrying all morning, and lays it, open, on a small writing desk beneath the window. The window is round and paper-covered, and through it the light is now the soft gray of a rising fog. She takes up her brush. She dips it, carefully, into a small stone inkwell. She wipes the excess against the rim. Then, slowly, she writes. Her hand moves in the small, deliberate strokes of someone who has been taught to write, not fast, but well. Each character forms itself in patient pieces. The date, the weather, the names of the cultures visited, the condition of each, the single word for the taste of slow river, the mark for a good morning. When she is finished, she lays the brush across the top of the inkwell and blows, very softly, across the page so that the ink dries. She closes the ledger. She ties its gray ribbon. She returns it to its place on the shelf. The work of the morning is written down. It it will not be lost. You leave the ledger room. The corridor is dimmer now and softer, and the light through the paper windows has that pale gray glow that comes from mist very close on the other side of the paper. The wooden wind chime, far off, offers another slow suggestion. From somewhere below the terrace comes the sound of nothing, which is not quite the same as silence. It is the sound of a valley full of cloud, of moisture in the air, of a great, slow breath being drawn. You and Wen walk at her pace, which is slower now than it was this morning. The morning is becoming afternoon. The afternoon is becoming something else. The monastery is quiet, in a way that is not the absence of sound, but the presence of a very soft one. The soft everything of mist, of moss, of cedar, of stone. She leads you at last to a wide window in the far wall of the cloister, a window without a paper cover, open to the terrace and to the sky. Below the window is a low bench, worn to a soft sheen by many robes, many patient sittings. Wen gestures to it. You sit. The stone of the bench is warm. Wen sits beside you. The two of you look out. The mist has risen. It is at the edge of the terrace now, curling around the low wall in slow, pale tongues, easing over the copper basins, softening the corners of the world. The nearest island peak with its little pines has vanished entirely. The sea of cloud has become an ocean, and the ocean has risen to lap at the monastery's shore. Soon there will be no shore. Soon there will only be the monastery and the mist and the soft gray light that comes from everywhere and nowhere. You watch the mist rise. You watch the mist rise. It rises so slowly you cannot quite see it move, and yet, if you look away for a moment, when you look back, it has come higher. The cloud is filling the valley. The cloud is filling everything below. The cloud is patient in the way only cloud can be. It has all afternoon. It has all evening. It has all night. Wen sits with her hands folded in her lap. Her breathing is very slow. Your breathing is very slow. The mist is very slow. The mountain beneath you is very slow. The mist rises up along the stone of the terrace and touches the far edge of the wall and begins gently to spill over. You do not need to do anything. Wen does not need to do anything. The crocks along the wall are dreaming. The cloud creams are settling in their small jars. The settling pans are giving up their mist to the ceramic. The weather-scribe is asleep in the tasting alcove. The cat is on her warm stone. The valley is full of cloud. The wind chime somewhere offers its slow, hollow note. The world is soft. The world is soft. The world is soft. You lean back a little against the wall by the window. The stone is warm. The robe is warm. Your slippers are warm. Your hands, folded in your lap, are warm. The tea is still, faintly, in the back of your throat. The taste of the yogurt is still, faintly, on your tongue. The smell of cedar is in the beams overhead. The moss is under your feet. The mist is at the window. The mist is at the window. Wen turns her head and looks at you and smiles. A smile that says you have done well, that the morning has been good, that you may stay here at the window as long as you wish. Then, very quietly, she rises. She takes up her ledger under her arm. She walks slowly back along the cloister, and her felt slippers make no sound, and she does not disturb the air behind her, and she goes to check, one more time, on the sleeping crocs. You watch her go until she reaches the far end of the cloister, and then she is only a small gray shape against the mist, and then she is only the memory of a small gray shape, and then she is gone. You are alone at the window, but you are not alone. The cat is on her stone. The weather-scribe is on her cushions. Wen is with her crocs. The monastery breathes. You watch the valley fill with white. You watch the valley fill with white. The mist rises. The mist rises. The light softens. Your eyelids soften. You can feel the warm robe around your shoulders. You can feel the warm stone beneath you. You can feel the warm slippers on your feet. Your hands rest, one over the other, in your lap. Somewhere, a wooden wind chime. Somewhere, a plip of cloud cream into a ceramic jar. Somewhere, the soft, dry sound of a wooden lid settling on a wooden crock. The mist is at the window. The mist is at the window. The mist is at the window. You do not need to keep watching. The mist will rise whether you watch or not. The valley will fill whether you watch or not. The crocs will dream whether you watch or not. You may close your eyes. You may close your eyes. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hands rest. Let your breath slow. The cedar beams are warm above you. The moss is soft beneath you. The mist is soft against a paper. You are held. You are held by the mountain. You are held by the cloister. You are held by the slow, patient breath of the valley. Nothing needs you. Nothing waits for you. The morning has been good. The afternoon will be good. The evening, when it comes, will be good. The mist rises. The mist rises. The wind chime, far off. The plip of cream. The warm stone. The warm robe. The warm bowl in your hands, remembered. The taste of cloud on your tongue, remembered. The moss beneath your slippers, remembered. The cedar above you. The mist at the window. The mist. The mist. You are soft now. You are soft now. Let the story go. Let the monastery go. Let Wen go about her small, quiet work. Let the cat turn her quarter turn on her warm stone. Let the weather-scribe sleep on her cushions. Let the crocs dream their pale, unhurried dreams. You do not need to hold any of it. It will hold itself. It's been holding itself for a long, long time. Only rest now. Only rest. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out more slowly still. The mist is rising. The valley is full. The mountain is quiet. You are quiet. You are warm. You are held. Sleep now. Sleep. 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 And if sleep does not come at once, that is all right. There is no hurry. There has never been any hurry in this valley. There is no hurry in the cedar beams above you. There is no hurry in the moss beneath you. There is no hurry in the slow, pale breath of the mist against the paper screens. You may simply lie here. You may simply be here. The cushions are soft. The robe is warm. The lantern in the corner has burned low, and its light is the color of honey held up to the sun. Somewhere, far off, the wind chime speaks again. One small, clear note, then quiet. Then, after a long while, another. It is in no hurry either. The mist rises. The mist rises. It curls against the paper screen like a slow, soft hand, and it does not ask anything of you, and it does not want anything of you, and it only rises and rises and settles and rises again. You do not have to follow it. You do not have to watch it. It will rise whether you watch or not. Let your jaw soften. Let your tongue rest low in your mouth. Let the small muscles around your eyes go loose. Let your brow smooth out. Let the tiny place between your eyebrows unfold like a leaf uncurling in warm water. Let your throat soften. Let your shoulders settle further, deeper into the cushions. Let the small held places between your shoulder blades release. Let your arms grow heavy. Let your hands grow heavy. Let your fingers grow heavy. Let your chest rise more slowly. Let your chest fall more slowly. Let the belly beneath your ribs be soft. Let the hips be heavy. Let the legs be long and heavy. Let the feet be warm inside the slippers. And let even the slippers be forgotten. The cedar smells sweet above you. The moss smells green beneath you. Somewhere, the crocs are dreaming their pale, slow dreams, and the cream is turning, in its own patient time, into cloud. You do not have to understand it. You do not have to remember it. It will happen whether you remember or not. The cat, on her warm stone, turns her quarter turn. She is fine. She is well. She will turn again in the morning, whether you are here or not. Wen, in the still room, wipes the rim of a crock with a clean cloth. She hums a small tune. The tune has no words. The tune has never had words. It rises and settles and rises again, like the mist. The weather-scribe sleeps on her cushions with her brush laid down across the low table. Her page is half finished. It will be finished tomorrow, or perhaps the day after. The mist will still be there. The valley will still be there. The page will wait. Everything is waiting kindly. Nothing is waiting hungrily. Nothing is waiting for you. You may release the day. You may release the small tasks and the small worries. They are not here in the cloister with you. They stayed at the foot of the mountain. They will still be there when you need them, if you need them, in some far distant morning. But not now. Not tonight. Tonight, only the mist, only the cedar, only the moss, only the warm robe, only the honey-colored lantern in the corner, burning low, the wind chime, far off, one note, quiet. Then, after a long while, another, the plip of cream, if you listen for it, though you do not need to listen for it. The crocs are patient. The crocs have always been patient. The crocs will still be patient in the morning. Your breath is slower now. Your breath is slower now. In and out. In and out. The mist rises. The mist rises. You are held by the mountain. The mountain has held many travelers before you. The mountain will hold many travelers after you. The mountain does not tire. The mountain does not hurry. The mountain has been holding this small cloister for longer than anyone remembers, and it holds it still, and it will hold it through the night. And you, small and warm inside the cloister, are held too. The beams above you are old and steady. The floor beneath you is old and steady. The walls around you have stood through many quiet winters, and they will stand through this quiet night. Nothing will disturb you. Nothing will call for you. The bell will not ring until it is time, and when it rings, it will ring softly, and it will ring only for those who are already awake. You may sink deeper into the cushions. You may let the cushions take more of your weight. You may let the cushions take all of your weight. You are heavy now, in a good way. You are heavy the way stones in a warm river are heavy. You are heavy the way ripe fruit is heavy. You are heavy the way the crocs are heavy, full of slow, patient cream that is becoming, without hurry, something new. Let the day become something new inside you. Let it soften. Let it turn quietly into rest. The mist is rising. The valley is full of mist. You cannot see the far ridge now. You cannot see the near ridge now. There's only the pale, soft glow of the mist against a paper screen, and the warm, honey light of the lantern in the corner, and the slow, warm dark inside the room. And you. And your breath. In, out, in, out. Somewhere in the cloister, someone sets down a wooden spoon. Somewhere, someone rinses a bowl. Somewhere, a door slides on its old, smooth track. These sounds are far away. These sounds are not for you. These sounds are the small, kind sounds of a place going on with its own quiet life, whether you sleep or not. And you may sleep. You may sleep now. The mist has risen. The mist has risen all the way to the eaves. The mist has risen higher than the eaves, and the cloister floats now in a soft white sea, and the mountain floats, and the cedars float, and the pale roof tiles float, and the warm honey lantern floats, and you float gently on the cushions, held by the mountain, held by the cloister, held by the slow, patient breath of the valley, held by the mist, held. The wind chime speaks once more, one small, clear note, then quiet. The cat turns her quarter turn, the crocs dream. Wen sets down her cloth and rests her hands in her lap and looks out into the pale white sea, and she is content. And she does not need anything, and she does not want anything, and the tune she was humming has slowed to almost nothing, almost a breath, almost the mist itself. The weather-scribe sleeps. Her brush rests. Her page waits. And you rest too. And your brush, whatever it is, whatever small work you carry in your hands during the days, rests too. And your page, whatever it is, whatever small, unfinished thing you carry in your mind, waits too. It will wait kindly. It will wait for morning. It will wait for as long as it needs to wait. Only rest now. Only the mist. Only the cedar. Only the moss. Only your breath. In, out, out. Slower now. Slower now. The lantern in the corner burns lower still. Its honey light softens. The room grows dimmer, gentler, warmer. The shadows are soft. The shadows are kind. The shadows are old friends of the cedar beams and the paper screens, and they settle into their familiar places, and they do not disturb anything. You do not need to think about tomorrow. Tomorrow will bring itself. Tomorrow will bring its own soft light, its own slow bell, its own warm bowl of cloud. Tomorrow will bring itself without your help. Only tonight. Only this breath. Only this soft, warm room. Only the mist against the paper. And even the mist you may let go of. Even the paper. Even the room. Even the cushions. Even the robe. Let them all soften. Let them all blur. Let them all become mist. You are becoming mist. You are becoming the slow, soft breath of the valley. You are becoming quiet. You are becoming rest. The mountain holds you. The mountain holds you. The mountain has always held you. Sleep now. Sleep. The wind chime, one last soft note. The cat, one last small turn. The crocs, one last pale dream. And when, from the still room, without looking, without needing to look, sends a small, kind thought toward the room where you rest, a thought like a warm hand set gently on a warm stone, and the thought settles over you like a soft folded cloth, and you do not need to notice it, and you do not need to thank her, and it is only there, warm and folded and kind. You are safe. You are warm. You are held. You are held. You are held. The mist rises. The mist rises. The mist rises. And now the mist begins, very slowly, to settle. It settles against the paper. It settles against the eaves. It settles against the old smooth stones of the courtyard. It settles the way sleep settles, without hurry, without asking, without needing to be watched. The valley is full. The night is soft. The lantern is low. Your breath is slow. Your breath is slow. Your breath is slow. You may let this story go now. You may let the cloister go. You may let the mountain go. You may let Wen go, and the cat, and the crocs, and the weather-scribe, and the wind chime, and the paper screen, and the honey lantern, and even the mist, you may let go. They will all be here in the morning, whether you remember them or not. They will all keep their small, kind lives, whether you are watching or not. They do not need you to hold them. They hold themselves. They have held themselves for a long, long time, and they will hold themselves through this night and through many more nights, quietly, without hurry. Only your own breath now. Only your own soft, slow breath. In, out, softer, softer. The room grows quiet. The room grows dim. The room grows small, and then softer than small. And then it is only a warm feeling around you. And then even the warm feeling begins to fade, gently, like mist against a paper screen. You are drifting. You are drifting. You are drifting the way the crocs drift through their long, slow dream. You are drifting the way the cat drifts through her sunlit turns. You are drifting the way the mist drifts up the mountainside, without hurry, without direction, without needing to arrive anywhere. There's nowhere to arrive. There's only here. There's only rest. There's only the soft, slow breath. In, out, in, out. Sleep is very near now. Sleep is very near. Let it come. Let it come the way the mist comes. Slowly, softly, without asking. Filling the small, quiet places one by one. Filling your feet. Filling your legs. Filling your belly. Filling your chest. Filling your shoulders. Filling your arms. Filling your hands. Filling your throat. Filling your jaw. Filling your face. Filling the small, quiet room behind your eyes. Soft, soft, soft. The mountain holds you. The mist holds you. The cedar holds you. The cloister holds you. You are held. You are held. You are held. Good night. Good night, small traveler. Good night from the cloister on the mountain. Good night from Wen, who hums her small, wordless tune. Good night from the cat on the warm stone. Good night from the crocs, dreaming their pale dreams. Good night from the weather-scribe, resting on her cushions. Good night from the wind chime, far off. Good night from the paper screen and the honey lantern and the cedar beams above. Good night from the moss beneath your slippers that you no longer feel, because you are floating now in the soft, warm dark, held. Good night. Sleep now. Sleep now. Sleep. The mist has settled. The valley is quiet. The mountain is quiet. You are quiet. You are warm. You are held. You are asleep. You are asleep. You are asleep.